Hello, everybody. How you guys doing today? I know we got a late start, but work's been hectic. Beyond the fact that I had to cancel yesterday because my little one was here, and I just remembered something. Yoink! There we go. But yeah, my little one was here yesterday. And are you done yet? No. Kinda. But we got words are hard. Oh, and I forgot to turn off there we go. And we turn on desktop audio. Hold the mic. But yeah, the words are hard, man. But yeah, I had the little one yesterday because his mom was out getting herself looked at. Perfect. They're both done. So I had to get up early in the morning to make sure that I gave. Were these from my? I think these are mine. Okay, let me just remove these. Probably gonna need some of this. Summer spool. Got some granite back, huzzah. You didn't find Jack. Oh, shoot. Be right back. I need to wash something up. Let's do this. Yellow. Sorry about that. Something did not agree with me. And that's all I gotta say about that. Boop. Alright, so here we are. Alright, so... Oh, I did... I must have hit X. Okay, so... Return to the workshop... Didn't find anything, okay. Finalized report. I don't want to resend it out to the same spot if the other one decided to find something. Nara. So both are going out the same spot. Because I need... Oh, hold on. Before I do that, let me check their... Ooh. Yeah, go ahead and repair that. Alright, now deploy. Out to the flickering dip. Alrighty. So... Not that I have... Okay, good. No. Not that I have that many repair materials to repair you, but... Sending you out to the same place. But Breeze, didn't you just say you didn't want to be sent if they... The point is that if they both come back, and they come back around the same time, I don't have to worry about it. If one finds it, then it's fine. Alright. So then... What does granite even do? And... Siltstone. Alright, so last night I was discussing things with Sho and Gigas actually. And I discovered, because I was like, oh yeah, New Game Plus, all this other jazz, yada yada yada. I wonder if this thing has, see, two things. For some reason I didn't finish this one in particular. This one I know I probably fell behind in what I need to do to get that done. I know I didn't do this one. What's this? Tales of the Dragon Solemn War. How did this one not finish? Anyway. But then I noticed, oh! I didn't do the last quests for anything that's not Gunbreaker, Dark Knight, Scholar, and... Ninja. There it is. I was gonna head over there. I haven't done enough Blue Mage to do that stuff. So I'm not gonna worry about that. So let's go do the Gladiator Paladin one first, I suppose. Yeah, let's go in order. So Gladiator, Paladin, and Warrior. I'm going to assume that I need to go... Actually, I'm in. I shouldn't do that. But yeah, so we're going to do those while we discuss a little bit of the changes that are going to be done. Because the more I look at those tooltips, the more I'm like, I don't know what to do first. Much less what I want to do for raiding. It's just, I don't know. It's a hard choice. It's a pretty hard choice. So since we're on Paladin, let's discuss the changes there. let's see, or let's discuss changes that I'm interested in. First off, Spirits Within no longer freaking does the lowering potency without the when I lose health as a tank. That sounds ridiculous, but it is what it is right now. But it won't be anymore. Which way am I going? That way, actually. On top of the fact it's going to get upgraded to an AoE version, which is nice. My only major issue... Oh, right. Paladin, not Gladiator. In technicality. Let's see. That's up there in the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Oh, no. That's all the way... That's the market boards. Yep, that was wrong. Chamber roll. That change of being able to see the map before you can go through is going to be very useful too. There he is. Worth fighting for. So it's still the Gladiator, even though I had to go up to the Paladin. Genlins has something or someone on his mind. Ah, Finis Kisar, how fare you, my friend? Still keeping up your training, I trust? The Sultan Sworn haven't been idle either, seeking to better serve our nation. We have joined hands with the Gladiators Guild. We train one another, helping each other hone our sword arms. The guild even dispatches its members to assist us in guarding the palace. None of this would have been possible without the First Sword Milia's cooperation. She is a dedicated woman, dedicated to art and to her own. And I have the utmost respect and admiration for her, okay? Oh, to her own, like to her own men, to her own people. Gotcha. I was about to say, to her own what? So it was with deep concern that I noticed something was troubles her as of late. I wonder what it is. If you've played the Paladin quest, you know what probably it's troubling her at this point, especially with the picture that we saw. Whereas she was amiable, she has become giving to brooding silences. She's turning into a Dark Knight. Oh no! I considered offering to lend her a year, but as relatively new acquaintance, I did not wish to appear overly familiar. But you, Kisar, you are a girl's friend. Also a woman, so that probably helps out a lot. Will you not seek her out and inquire the source of her consternation? And now I gotta go back to where I was. Wonderful. Anyway. Pink breeze. Okay. So AoE on basically Spirits Within, which is really nice. The other good thing is... Oh, the bad thing is... it seems like auto attacks are gonna build... The only thing to build up sword gauge again. Though there is mention of sword gauge building with abilities, but I didn't see any abilities that had that. But... in the tooltip, but I am going to assume the tooltips are incomplete. Let me see. I'm looking at the stuff right now. Yeah, there's no Oath Gauge build on anything. Just Oath Gauge costs. How do you pronounce that? The AoE Spirits Within is called something like Expiation. Piacion. I don't know. Maybe it's word. Oath Gauge. You know. I don't see anything that says it's gonna build, but where's the Oath Gauge? Trait. Was it the Oath Gauge trait? Or was it something else? I don't recall now. In any case, that's the major negative. Let's talk to Milia. Mila. Mila. Yeah, it's gotta be Mila because it's Mylla. Alalalala. Oh, it's you, Kasara. It's been a while. What have you? What brings you here today? Is everything all right? I mean, last time I left you here. What's this all of a sudden? Of course I'm... Nay, I won't insult your intelligence by lying to you. You saw me in the Thaumaturgist Guild, didn't you? You see, it's Aldous. He's returned to Ul'dah. He's been pardoned, so he has every right to be here. But he's not come to the guild, is he? But it's just... I don't understand what's gone through his mind. What's going through his mind? Oh, is it if it isn't the very woman I've been longing to see? It's not Milia, it's me. Oh. He traded one sword for another. Hi. Greetings, Kisara. You look well for someone who's been raising hells the world over. I mean, yeah. And you could say worlds over at this point. I see my entire intrigues you. Not particularly. I know exactly where you went. When I took my leave of the Ul Cup, I believe I said something to the effect of still having much to learn. That's what I've been doing. Learning. I remember the elderly samurai who was making short work of our gladiators, and so I decided to journey to the Far East to train in his style. Who was willing to teach you the style? No one I saw was willing to go anywhere near me. Anyway. You never cared for convention or tradition. Is it any wonder we're confused to see you actually look the part? That's true. I suppose you're right. But you have to admit, Myla, because I think that's two L's, right? So, Myla, I look pretty good in this. Parts? Yeah. Other parts? Not so much. So, Kasar, how about you and I have a bout, for old time's sake? I could switch to Samurai if it would make it any more fun for you. Because honestly, anybody who thinks that Japanese katanas are made better than anything that was in medieval Europe is lying to themselves. Oh, but they fold over the steel, Breeze. It makes it stronger. Yeah, because they didn't purify the steel first. It was full of so many impurities, all they could do was fold it over to make it stronger. Which makes me curious. What if they purified the steel and then folded it over? How much stronger would that sword be? But I'll humor you. We're of a kind, you and I. No, we're not. Let's see what... when we see a mighty foe, we can't resist the urge to test ourselves. No, I'm humoring you. There's a difference. Now, as much as I fancy a rematch in the Colosseum, we'll have to settle for a humbler venue this time. Let's see. I mean, is the Colosseum used for anything right now? How about Scorpion Crossing? It's outside the gates of the Sultana. There's a space there, not a lot of people watch our glory. Okay. Oh, don't you even think about fighting in the city. If you must feed your vanity, I'll attend as witness, but at the very least, I can explain the situation of the brass blades to the player. Thanks, I appreciate it. And there you have it, Kasara. See you at Scorpion Crossing. You're right. I have no idea what's going through his head sometimes. Alright. Let's go. Hold on. didn't finish this. Somehow. Okay, so I'll get rid of that. There we go. Let me check it off so that I get it on my list of stuff to do. And Hammerlay. Oh. I thought we were... Okay. Oh, so it's literally right outside this gate. So what city are we going to? Like, whatever. I'm not even sure what Mila's all on about with that. But, Holy Sheltron looks pretty cool. The upgrade to Intervention is alright. The new 1-2-3 combo from... I hope he's satisfied. From Confiteor is pretty cool. The other really cool thing I like, although we still don't get the shield from Divine Veil, the fact that they added heals from Holy Spirit means that we can auto-trigger them, so we don't have to ask for help from the healers. We just need to line it up with our Requiescat, if anything. So it's not that bad. So Paladins is an alright place. Could it be better? I'm sure, but it's alright. I'm not sure if it can main tank still, considering the auto attack bit. I've been looking forward to this. Come, my friend, let's begin. But we're not fighting, because you didn't have the little glowy bits around you that tells me that we actually fight. So it's a story cutscene. You know, I would kill for this to be actually voice acted, by the way. While you were busy studying the sword, I was studying the shield. Whoa. Am I actually glowing? Impossible. Ultra Instinct! This is actually kind of badass. I like this thing. How? How did you become so strong? That line is really appropriate with the fact that I said Ultra Instinct. I was training somewhere else. Yeah, I found something worth protecting. You journeyed to another world and found something you wish to protect? I didn't say anything about another world, Aldous. Why are you reading all the way into my brain on that? Aldous, what is the meaning of this? He's pussying out. No. The one thing that he learned well from the samurai is being able to gauge an opponent before you even start. So that's good. There's no point. As I am, I don't stand a chance against Hisara. You would admit defeat before you've even fought? Yes. A true master can judge what needs to be done before he even starts the first move. It's unseemly, aye. But because of my training, I've come to know Mila. I've come to know the power of resolve and the difference that it makes. Yeah, the major issue with him is super fickle. Forgive me, I need a moment alone. So you know, yet you're going to be fickle again. Alright. Go have fun. This isn't the Aldous I know. He's never once backed down from a fight. I don't doubt that you've grown stronger since we last met. But so has Aldous. That's why he challenged you, to put his training to the proof. Yet by that self-same training, he could see that he was no match for you. I don't know what to say. Well, there's no use pondering things here. Let's return to the guild. But we're not gonna poke to see what's up with his brain case? I mean, I know that there's probably not much going up in his brain case, but you know. Because he's all instinct. Why did I keep going back to the ultra inching shenaniganery? Shenaniganery. Let's see, would she say Aldous hasn't returned? I wouldn't be surprised if he's left Ul'dah again. It wouldn't be the first time he's disappeared as quickly as he's arrived. All I did was stand there. Don't blame yourself. The problem is Aldous' and Aldous' alone. It's up to him to resolve it, however long that may take. At any rate, don't feel compelled to linger on his account. I'm sure you have much to immense your time. Come and visit again if you have the chance. Maybe. Sorry for taking off like that. Whoa! Welcome back. Truth be told, I'm ashamed to show my face, but there's something I need to tell you. After I left, I thought long and hard of your words. On that which you said made you strong. It led me to ask myself, what is it I wish to protect? And you found your answer? I did. Fool that I am, it took me a long time, but I finally realized that it was always close by. Aldous. It's not her, is it? Are we ending on a joke, or is this for serious? With how much is leading up, this is gonna end on a joke. Myla, this is embarrassing for me to say, but that which is dearest to me, that which I cannot bear to lose. Okay, not a joke, but it wasn't what I thought it was. Okay. At least it wasn't a joke. Is the Gladiators Guild. What? The old guild master. He was a father to me. And this place is as a home. Is as a home. No matter where my path led, or where my path may lead, the guild will always come with me with open arms. Will always welcome me with open arms. I realize that now. Okay, I need to stop this because this is driving me nuts. Being able to hear myself, I might just start it that way of his stream and then change it up later. Ta-da-ta-da. That changed. That's nice. Oh, cool. Okay. Not bad. Oh, there's offsets now too? Interesting. Interesting. Aldous, you... So if I'm to protect the guild, it means, well, you know. It means I'll have to be at the guild. So from today, I'm giving up on the Idorant life. After all these years coming and going as you please, sending nary a word, you think you could just stay here? You've got a lot of nerve. Why, Milia, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you were worried about me. Shut your mouth! If you wish to stay, then do as you like. That's what you're good at. Ah, there's the grimace I know and love. There's truly no place like home. I know the feel, girl. But just aside, Kisara, because of you, I finally realized what's important to me. For that, I give you my thanks. That's it? From here on, I'll watch over the guild while I continue honing my skills. Who knows, if I work hard, I might even become the first sword one day. Not on your life! No one would entrust the guild to a selfish bastard such as you. And skills or no, you're starting from the bottom like the rest. Aye, whatever you say. It was good seeing you, my friend. Do come and visit again. From now on, you know where to find me. And I said I was going to go in order with probably Warrior next, but let's go by section. Since the Black Mage is here, let's go over to the Black Mage. Like a knight in shining armor. Alright. Let's go talk to the Blim Guild. Blim Guild. There's no Blim Guild! Blim Trainer. Black magic is technically illegals. Like, not even the thaumaturges will really actually touch it. But down this way. And then curve to the right. Yeah, that's the blue mage, which I still need to go and do. Oh, and monk is here too, so we'll go and do the monk. Because I've got everything to 80, so it's just a matter of doing the quests. So, Black Mage's changes. Black Mage's changes I like a lot. It basically doesn't change at all. Just now we have an auto-cast freaking foul. A way to get Polyglot instantaneously. Now, Ino-chan will never leave us because it is traded. Oh, right. The one thing that it does majorly change is Blizzard 2 is now targeted, gives you automatic 3 stacks. Same thing with Fire 2 of their respective elements. And Freeze only gives you the Umbral Heart stacks, but it gives you 3 instead of just 1. So the AoE is a lot simpler. And what else was I missing? All right. Paradox, the new one in between. Now, the one thing that I'm going to look forward to, I'm not sure if it's just the wording's off or whatever, is that Paradox is supposed to be able to trigger Firestarter, i.e. instant Fire 3 cast, for those who are unaware. But Sharpcast specifically says the same thing as it does now, just now it has 2 stacks. So, ensures the next Scathe, Fire, or Thunder spell will trigger Scathe's additional effect, Firestarter, or Thundercloud. Since Paradox is unexpected because it's got both fire and ice elements in it, yeah. It might not actually be affected by Sharpcast. So that means Sharpcast will be only used on Thunder. La. What's up? Oh, looks like we're going to the Thaumaturge's Guild? Lalai is eager to hear your tale of your recent adventures. Lalai, I blew everything up. Good on you! Welcome back to these halls, Kisara of the Black. I sense your dark powers in you are ever burgeoning. Pray tell, where have your travels taken you since we last met? I felled a great mage in battle. Now, I traveled to a world flooded with light, because Kisara of the Black, I went to a place of light so I can train even more. Might as well. Journey to another world, you say? Intriguing, indeed. Consider me impressed, even a bit envious. How are you able to peer into the past of the Archmage Nybert and form a bond across the ages with his young Fred trainer? Though the circumstances are not entirely the same, I cannot help but think back to my own encounter with the great Shatoto. Speaking of which, I too have been keeping myself occupied. Why, I have recorded every detail of what we learned in our last adventure in writing, that we may preserve Shatoto's knowledge for posterity, and avert any similar calamity that may threaten future generations. Just the other day, I put the finishing touches on the final chapter of the final volume, concluding with Shatoto's departure. There is, however, one lingering... Well, fancy that. I come to check on Lalai here, and who do I find but our old friend Kisara? Oh, hi. I remember you. Well, if it isn't everyone's favorite mutton-headed hearer, I need neither your support nor your sympathy, but I suppose you have never been one to let that stop you. Come now, Lalai. You yourself mentioned you were at a loss for what to do with your records you had scribed, yes? I simply hope to inquire whether there have been any fruitful developments on that front. So you mean to rub salt in my wounds, yes? There have been no developments, fruitful or otherwise. I consulted with my brothers and sisters at the Order of Nalthal, but to the last man they refused to entertain the thought. You consulted with... Do you mean to say you are still a member of the Order? Why, I'd always assumed you'd been excommunicated for your pursuit of the dark arts. Excommunicated? Simply for the pursuit of knowledge? Perish the thought. Though, to be fair, there are many holier-than-thou types in the Order who would share this pig-headed healer's opinion. Irrespective of this, the fact remains that the Order sealed away countless of tomes in their vaults when they forbid the art of black magic. Storing my own writings with them, I would argue, is the most logical option. But no, they're too prudish and prejudiced against yours truly to listen to reason. Then again, perhaps if a thaumaturge is in good standing with the Order, were to put in a good word on my behalf, you may indeed find a more sympathetic ear. What do you say, Kisara? Why the heck not? Excellent. Let us hurry to the ossuary and see if we can't convince that insufferably stuffy Yakake to see good sense. I don't know. A moment, if you please, Kisara. To tell the truth, the question of where to store her records is not only a matter that concerns the Lalai of late. I think I misread that, but either way. Recently, I cannot help but feel the etheric power within her is shifting, warping in ways that I have not felt before. As to why this is, I cannot yet be sure. Until we discover more, pray, look after her, will you? Nah. She's a big girl. She can handle this. Alright. Okay, I got basically two choices of teleport from here. Why is it so busy around here? Wait. Oh, this must be the Blue Mage stuff. Because I don't do Blue Mage stuff, it doesn't occur to me. I wonder if I should do Blue Mage stuff. It's just really, really boring to me to level something else that requires very specific stuff to do. Oh, right. I gotta go talk to this stuffy girl up here. Ayakake. I kinda didn't miss you. Lalai, what do you have to say? I swear, for a veteran of the Order, she has all the sense of a simpering child. Says the simpering child. Kisara! Well, this is an unexpected surprise, and not an entirely pleasant one, though it is by no fault of your own. The unmitigated gall of you, Lalai. Did you honestly believe that dragging poor Kisara here, against her will, no doubt, would convince me to agree to housing your shameful scribblings of our archives? I've said it once and I'll say it again. Until the day you renounce your depraved teachings of Kukuruka, I've never tried to pronounce this stuff out loud, considering that I didn't stream way back in the day here, but Kukuruka, you'll find no friends here. I would see those books burn before I give them own here, for our sake and for your own. I swear, despite that pretentious monocle... Hey! But I have a monocle. My monocle's cooler. Alright. You remain as blind as a bat to the big picture. Kisara the Black, talk some sense to this overstuffed secretary. Do all the Order agree with yours? At least one of us here is capable of communicating like an adult. I will grudgingly admit there is one other who shares Lalai's sentiments. In fact, it's none other than our very own guildmaster, Master Kokoba. Kokobe? What was the name again? Kokobuki! Ha! It doesn't surprise me in the least. Come, Kisara, let's present our case to someone wise enough to understand it. Okay. After all you have done for your guild, I felt you deserved an answer to your query, so I gave you one. And yet, I advise you to proceed with caution. Lalai has few allies here, and I would hate to see your pristine reputation sullied by association. It's alright. I'll just cast, more than a couple flares. And people will see reason. Who cares if everyone else in this place is insufferable dunderhead? With the guildmaster himself on our side, our argument is good as one. Considering the guildmaster is kind of technically shared between all of them, I'm not sure how that's going to work. I was wondering who might be behind the screaming and stamping that echoed all the way into this chamber. Sister Lalai, was it? Yes, it is true. I find myself rather convinced by the young lady's argument, but it is all but impossible for us to prevent any and all from studying the dark arts. Why then not keep this dangerous knowledge close at hand where we can keep an ever-watchful eye on those who would pursue it? Why then not keep the dangerous knowledge close at hand where an ever-watchful eye can on those that would pursue it? And yet I fear it is my own view is not a popular one, and my power to influence the others is far from absolute. And so I would offer a proposal. Let us state our case directly to the head of the order, to Prioress Dulala herself, that she might pass judgment. You and Lalai shall argue in favor of accepting the tomes, and those opposing shall argue against. Should all go well, the prioress will agree to the proposal, and the tomes will have a safe home. And yet, the plan is not without risk. Should your argument be less than convincing, there remains a chance Dulala may expressly forbid any further research. Why, if she is in a particularly foul mood, your very place in the order may suddenly become quite tenuous. Ha! As if there's a chance my words could be anything but persuasive. Lalai, no, shut up, let me talk. I don't care that I'm silent most of the time, let me talk. I accept. Pray summon the prioress at her earliest convenience. Well, that settles it. We best hurry and prepare our argument. Out of our enemy's earshot, of course. Come with me, Kisara. Right outside the door is not what I'd call out of earshot, Lalai. Oh, hey! Lalai seems to be in unusually good spirits. I trust the negotiations went well, and yet something concerns me. I wouldn't doubt it. This is our chance, Kisara. We simply must convince the prioress at all costs. The future of our art depends on it. What's this curious sensation? Lalai! I knew something was amiss. The ether within you is transforming in a most unusual way. I must admit, I've not quite felt myself lately. My head, it feels as heavy as stone. No, this will not do. I'm afraid that I must insist you submit to a full examination before the hearing commences. She's fine. She's taking a nap. Lalai! Lalai, can you hear me? Someone fetch a healer or... wait, that's me. This is no time for panicking, friend. We must carry her to the... Frontistery. Frontistery? What the hell's a frontistery? stand in confusion. Place of thinking or study. Really? We're gonna take her there? Not sure. I fear is that it is as I suspected. The etheric balance between her was broken down entirely, and unchecked energies are now eating away at her from within. This is why you balance fire and ice, and only add an unexpected otherwise. Maybe a little bit of thunder. That's about it. Anyway, I can only assume that playing host to Shatoto's memories has put a terrible strain on her, one from which she had yet to completely recover. Yes, it would seem that her mind and spirit are in mortal peril. I have never witnessed such a degree of etheric imbalance before. I do not suppose you have... I saw a man transform into an unholy abomination. Also known as, oh no, he's hot! Anyway. I see. I can scarcely imagine all you have witnessed in your travels, but an imbalance of aether seems similar to what I now observe in Lalai would appear to be behind the phenomena you describe. If we can assume the memories of Shatoto are taking up residence in Lalai's corporeal form, stimulated her etheric flow, causing it to shift violently in an astral direction, then it only stands to reason that we can restore balance by introducing a counteracting umbral aspect. By the 12, I think I've got it. And yet, the process will not be quick nor easy. I suppose we have no choice but to ask Master Kokobuki to delay the hearing. Delay the hearing? Have you lost your wits? What little wits you had? Why, if word got out my condition was the result of my pursuit of my dark arts, it would all seal Yakake's case against me. Whoa! It's so rare to see her without the hat. I think the only time we saw her without the hat, and she still at least had like the collar coming up to here, was when she was under influence of Shatoto. So it's so weird to see her in full view, I guess is what I'll say. No, we must proceed as planned. Before our opponents are the wiser. Kisara, here's my magnum opus. The fruits of all we went through together. I leave them in your capable hands. Go on ahead. I will be along in due time. Are you mad? You can't possibly mean to attend the proceedings in your current condition. Of course not. Fortunately, I just so happen to know a healer who, despite being an insufferable stick in the mud, has proven himself more than capable of healing in the healing arts. Lalai. Very well. Leave it to me. I will see that you're back on your feet before the judgment is rendered. Until then, I suppose it's up to Kisara here. Godspeed, my friends. God's speed, my friend. Frontistery. Sorry, I misspelled that. No, it is. Frontistery is a place of thinking or study. By definition. So I am more than slightly confused. I assume that we have to go to the Thaumaturge's Guild to plead our case. And if I'm wrong, I'm not. Everything's okay. Oh boy. Alright. Yoomp. Kokobuki, what's up, my dude? Lalai will be joining the proceedings a touch late, you say? That is most unlike her, to say the least. She's entrusted her records to you. Very well. With any luck, we will be able to use them to our advantage. Now let me see them. The priors will be here all too soon. Do we really want him seeing the stuff before? Whatever, doesn't matter. So there's Yakake, there's Kokobuki. Ah, the prioress. Now I remember the prioress. I'm like, who the hell? Lalai has not even the courtesy to arrive on time to the hearing she herself requested? I swear, that woman's selfishness knows no bounds. I move that her request be dismissed immediately. It is for her own good. Her own good? Yes, it is as I suspected. You speak from your own experience, don't you, child? I recall that you too once took an unpopular opinion in support of your erstwhile master Mumuepo. Mumuepo. Yeah, Mumuepo. One that earned you only the ire of your brothers and sisters. Yes, and what of it? I fought for a hopeless cause that in the end served only to isolate me from my peers. Is it so wrong that I wish to save Lalai from a similar fate? She must abandon this farce once and return to her rightful place in the order. Except that you're kind of doing the same thing again. Can I point that out? To this, I cannot agree. In the short time before these proceedings, I perused what I could of these tomes. In their pages are writ not only forbidden secrets of black magic, but accounts of astounding phenomena of the likes which I could scarcely imagine. Lalai conducted her research without the support or interference of the order, and the fruits of that research has borne cannot be denied. While our guild could not support her, thousands others like her, I see little to gain from stifling one woman's passion and forcing her to work within such rigid rules and regulations. Do I get to argue anything? The merits of both arguments are not lost on me, and yet I must confess a degree of ignorance about the matter at hand. All I know that black magic was forbidden for its role in bringing disaster to our world, and yet you still practice this art. Tell me, adventurer, is this magic as calamitous as the rumors say? Oh, indubitably. Destruction too can bring salvation. Yeah. Depends on who wields it and to what end. Yeah, because it's very destructive magic. Do not get me wrong. Look at everything all three magic classes can do. I counted them right? I counted them right. All three magic DPS. Right? Super destructive. But it depends on where it's pointing. Unpopular opinion, at least by association, right? Guns don't kill people, people kill people, right? Same thing with the black magic. The black magic is not destructive in and of itself. It's the person who wields it and the direction they're wielding it that makes the difference here. If I understand you correctly, you would argue that in the right hands, even the art of destruction might serve a greater good. And yet, how are we to be certain that this Sister Lalai can be trusted with such potentially ruinous knowledge? Oh, I think that was a statement, not a question. My apologies, Prioress. By your leave, I would tell my tale. Take off the hat, at least. I mean, yeah, you look like a black mage, and that's nice, but you look better without the hat, my dear. You can keep the high collar. Anyway, black magic is an inherently dangerous art. This I cannot and will not deny. Never would I suggest that even a single mage pursue this path without full knowledge of the perils that lie ahead. That is precisely why I've recorded in painstaking detail not only the arcane knowledge that I have gleaned, but every last one of the myriad of phenomena, both wondrous and terrifying, I have experienced in its pursuit. Unbreakable bonds formed with beastmen we once thought our sworn enemy, bodies and souls consumed by the pursuit of forbidden knowledge, and an unspeakable calamity revisited upon our world after a millennia. We must leave this knowledge to posterity that our sons and daughters do not repeat the mistakes of our past. Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. This is the crux of your argument, yes? Yes. Unfortunately, one cannot teach this lesson. It has to be learned of their own accord. One can guide this lesson, a horse to water or a person to this particular lesson, but you can't tell them that outright because they will not accept it as such. So one might hope the prioress at least has the wisdom to accept this. Very well, Master Kokobuki. I hereby order you to establish a research organization under the auspices of your guild to further study the impact of black magic. I also grant you permission to store the aforementioned tomes in your archives, under the condition that Sister Lalai oversees them. Wow. Even I'm kind of shocked at this one. How? Like, that the book was going to go into the archives was no doubt of mine whatsoever. At all. That was going to be a given. But that basically they're allowing for the full study of this? It's a little strange. A little passing strange. Understood. I will see that both the tomes and Lalai herself find a safe home within our halls. I'm still not entirely convinced, but if the guildmaster himself is willing to act responsibly, I have no reason to oppose. Prioress Dulala, Master Kokobuki, I cannot thank you enough. Mark my words, you will not regret this decision. I will see to it that this knowledge is passed down as it should be, that the errors of our past will never be repeated. Who wants to cast a celebratory flare? Celebratory flare for everyone! Boom! To think the day that would come that our art might be recognized once more. I do believe that the proceedings went about as well as could be expected. I suppose this means that Lalai is now directly under my supervision. Don't think you'll be getting free reign around here just because simply I vouched for you, child. I expect regular reports on any and all of your findings. Only through transparency will black magic ever be accepted by the doubters and skeptics. Understood. I shall begin to prepare my first report at once, but before that, is there another... there's another whom I'd like to share these tidings. That is, by your leave, Guildmaster? I believe you know well of whom I speak. He waits us at the Sacarium. Come along, Kisara. Sacarium. I just accepted a lot of these words, but I'm curious to see Sanctuary of a Church. Okay. But the more and more I dig into Final Fantasy and some other people who are digging really deep into Final Fantasy stuff, the more it's just like, oh yeah, this is a reference to stuff that's in real life. Like for realsies, I thought these were invented words for the thing. A nerp. Nerp, 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 nerp. That's not how that goes. At the very least, they borrow enough that it's very clear what needs to happen there. Lalai has already shared the good news with me. Why, I could not be happier for the both of you. And so you see, I simply thought that, well, whatever does the matter, Lalai. This is your moment of triumph. I would expect you to be more triumphant. That's what I'm saying. Cast flares everywhere. It'll be a triumphant moment. It'll be amazing. Oh wait, let me take a step back. Are you more of a foul kind of girl? Is that where we're going with this? Nah, no, foul doesn't explode well enough. Despair. Let's go with despair. Of course I am. It's simply that, well, clearly I could not have... I did not accomplish this on my own, so... Kisara of the Black, and yes, you as well. Zaya, Nella. That name. You have my deepest gratitude. She never... Wow, she's usually super proud, so that is a change right there. Well, I dare say this has been a momentous day in more ways than one. Once again, Lalai, my congratulations, and you are most welcome. With that, I should be on my way. When next we meet, I would introduce my colleagues from Stillglade Fane. Now that you are no longer a pariah, I would suppose they would not be so averse to exchanging knowledge with you. Just when I was beginning to take a liking to that dolt. At any rate, though my official position may have changed, my mission remains the same. I will do all in my power to preserve our art for future generations. Pray, continue to lend me your aid, Kisara of the Black. Yo! What's up, show? Back in black! Alright. So now we do the monk quest. Oh, you did you? How did that go? Ah, nope. They're the goldsmiths. I knew it was at one of the crafters' guilds. All right. Oh, right. Monk changes. And this is what I've been doing. Oh, nice. This is what I've been doing. So monk changes. Basically rebuild from the ground up for the most part. Monks are getting Steel Peak and Howling Fist back, but basically they're just now the lower forms of what's it called? Forbidden Chakra and Enlightenment. So really not that big of a change there. Riddle of Wind is now something you select. These stances, the Fist of Fire, Fist of Earth, Fist of Wind, gone. Actually, let me bring it up real quick just because I want to see it again while we discuss this. There it is. So yeah, those stances, gone. We got riddles instead. Riddle of Earth does the same thing as it does now. Sorry, give me a moment because I just want to make sure that of one thing in specific. The charges and stuff. Yeah, it's 3 charges of Riddle of Earth, so that's the same. Riddle of Fire technically is getting nerfed, but that might be because of the crunch. Instead of increasing damage by 25%, it's 15%. Brotherhood. The Brotherhood change is going to be huge. Now it's not just oh no, it is cast a spell. They must have made that change when they updated some things. Obviously we got Elixir Field's going away as a auto ability that you just have off GCD. Now it's part of that Masterful Blitz thing. It's where when you do it when you have 3 of the beast chakra types. Yeah, we'll have to see how things pan out. Armor of the Destroyer. Armor of the Destroyer gets upgraded to Shadow of the Destroyer, which really only buffs it by 10 potency, but then it has a guaranteed crit if you're coming into Opa form. So basically, you don't have to try and boot shine to be, what's it called? Charging up chakra, which is nice. 6-sided star remains basically the same. Oh, they got rid of all the positionals on the main 6, by the way. Oh, no, wait, I take it back. Okay. Boot shine. Actually, how much has changed since the last time I played Monk? I need to double check something. Ta-da, ta-da. So that's the same. It doesn't really change anything. Ah, True Strike, I think, loses that positional. Yeah. True Strike loses its positional. Snap Punch keeps it. Yeah, so basically True Strike is the only one that loses its positional. No, I take it back. True Strike and Twin Snakes. So basically the only ones that keep their positional are the first and the third hits. The second hit is irrelevant anymore. So definitely less heavy on the positionals. That's nice. I'm interested to see how Masterful Blitz pans out. But I'm going to do most of this monk stuff on Yang when I get around to it. And then Riddle of Wind is added, and that one just basically gives you, what's it called? Reduced auto attack by 50%. Auto attack delay, I should say. Not reduced auto attack. The delay between each auto attack goes down. So that means that's every 90 seconds. So that means that that one in particular is going to be a passive buff almost to damage, so long as you stay within melee range. And then Thunderclap is basically ethereal manip, because you have to you rush either a target enemy or a party member. Yep, definitely better. But that's the issue in particular with that one, is that it's like ethereal manip. Though when Drac did his interview with Yoshi P, he asked whether or not Thunderclap, which is basically the replacement for shoulder tackle, by the way, doesn't do any damage, it just basically moves you towards your target, can be more like en avant. So you're not having to target anybody, you just go in a direction that you're looking. And I think that actually might be not a bad idea. That would actually be an excellent idea. And basically the way you get the beast chakras, by the way, to do the new moves, etc., is you have to do one of each of these moves while under perfect balance. That's why we're going to get multiple stacks of perfect balance. Anyway, let's talk to Eric and do this quest. Ah, Kisara, excellent timing. I have a quest of you. Worry not, it's a simple task that shan't overburden your simple mind. I just came from the Black Mage's quest. Can this guy at least acknowledge that I'm not a dumbass? Please. Black Mage uses intelligence, and if you're talking about being more wise, then just check out my White Mage and Scholar. I'm not an idiot. Like, and I'm doing this for his sake, ignoring the fact that obviously monks aren't dumb. I think the whole point of most of the monk quests is to prove that. Can he at least acknowledge the other stuff that is actually smart from me? Anyway, in no small part due to your valor, Alamigo has one that phrasing, and not like a secondary phrasing. It's just it doesn't sound right. Alamigo has one free from imperial tyranny. Shouldn't be has one freedom from imperial tyranny. But something afoot has given me cause for concern. Not long ago, a soldier from the resistance came asking after Widargelt's whereabouts. As you know, the buffoon was once a captain of the resistance, and he had gathered under him some like-minded men and women who burned all and consumed with an all-consuming hatred of the Empire. While the inquiry may have been completely innocuous, we cannot discount the possibility that there are those who burn with hatred still and who mean to drag Widargelt back to the path of vengeance. Though the Widargelt as we know him now would not lend such talk an ear, he may not be given a choice. Lest it turn ugly, I want you to find your brother monk and alert him to the dangers. Last time we saw Widargelt was in Alagana. If he isn't there, the villagers may at least be able to direct you to him. Go quickly, Kisara. So that tells me that he's not in Alagana anymore. If you're already telling me if that's the case... Oh, wait. Do the new moves have... No, because 2 of the 3 new Masterful Blitz moves are AoE. They don't have positionals. Yeah, and the one... Let me rephrase that. 2 of the 4 new moves. And, oh, by the way, Tornado Kick also is another victim of getting kicked out of just being an off GCD. It is now the one that you do once you get 3 Beast Chakra and both Nadi. And you get the Nadi by doing the previous Beast Chakra one. So like Elixir Field gives you Lunar, and that one all you need is 1 type of Beast Chakra, so you can do basically Twin Snakes, Twin Snakes, Twin Snakes, Twin Snakes for getting Elixir Field. Celestial Revolution, you need 2 Beast Chakra types to be able to pull off. And that one opens the Lunar Nadi. Unless it's already open, then it opens the Solar Nadi. And then Flint Strike, which goes to Rising Phoenix later on, only opens up the Solar Nadi. And Flint Strike, Rising Phoenix, and Elixir Field are AoE. Celestial Revolution is single target. And then the one that requires the both Nadi and Beast Chakra is Tornado Kick, which becomes Phantom Rush. So, that'll be interesting to see. Anyway, so... I did, actually, and now we'll go over that once we get there. You're the monk from before! Ah, the way you laid the Corpse Brigade low was just glorious. Gorgeous! I wanted to become strong like you, so I went and joined the monkhood. Never once skipped training, I'm proud to say. Master Widogeld? Last I spoke with him, he mentioned he was trying to find Theobald. Fellow disappeared while under the healer's care. Someone saw him staggering out of the village in the early hours. Was headed west by the sound of it. But yeah, I did look at Reaper. And its rotation is not super clear. Mostly because it looks like there's 3 phases. Okay, let's take a look at that, since obviously we're not going to be doing a Reaper quest right now to be able to stop and talk about it. Where did I put Reaper? There it is. So the Soul Gauge combo. The Soul Gauge combo reminds me of the Dragoon combo, by the way. In the fact that it goes longer and longer and longer, because it's got a starting point that branches out into a couple things it can do, which then goes to a next step, but then has to swap to the other side, and it's... In fact, let's do this. Hold on. Let's, do I have a window capture or desktop capture? No, but I'll add it. Display capture. Yeah, capture the cursor on this one. Ah! Undo that second grab. Thank you very much. Zoop. I'll make it grow again. This is what I'm looking at. So you see right here, we got... Okay, hold on. Let me drop it back a little bit at least, so it's behind me at least. There we go. So it starts here with Bloodstock, which, there we go. Doesn't have a positional, it looks like. But then it can go to Guillotine, Gallows, and Gibbet. Gallows goes over to Unveiled Gibbet, which goes back to Gibbet, and then goes to Unveiled Gallows. At least that's what it looks like. It's really weird. I can't tell. Oh, no, wait. I take it back. I read this wrong, because this is an ability, so you... use this to apply to these things. Okay. All right. A little weird. Just look at the actual full thing, by the way. So you have the regular single target over here, AoE here, Shroud Gauge combo down here, Soul Gauge combo over there. Whoo boy! just, it looks to be the new monk as far as busy freaking job. So the soul gauge combo, I believe, is the one that uses positionals. Yeah. So Gallows needs a rear positional. Gibbet needs a side positional, and that's it. Everything else that, you know, Bloodstock turns into this stuff, right? Doesn't require positional, so let's take a look at the Shroud gauge. Let's see, in Shroud, nothing. 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 It's actually really light in positionals. Because Yoshi B already said this, but we're just to show you here as well. For the main single target, there's nothing. 300, 380 if comboed, 460 if comboed. Oh, this made me laugh, by the way, since we're talking about this. Harvest Moon. I saw that and reminded myself of the island thing that we're getting soon. I'm like, wait, why Harvest Moon? What? Looking at all the damage this does, though, look at this. Like, freaking, you have, once you're in the Shroud gauge combo, you've got 520 when enhanced. Huge damage potencies. 400, 460. 520 when enhanced, and from behind, 520 when enhanced. I was just like, what is this, samurai? What? But no, this thing has at least a little bit of utility. It has a weaker version of freaking Blackest Night with a little bit of cure potency on it. And it also has this Arcane Circle stuff, which boosts damage as well. So it's just like, why is it doing so much damage when it has utility? But yeah, this is absolutely insane. You literally have 3 gauges to keep track of. 4 if you count like the blue turning purple. So that's why I'm saying this becomes what Monk was like at the end of Heaven's Word, start of Stormblood. Where it's just super busy and you're keeping track of a lot of different things. But on the plus side, unlike with like keeping up Grease Lightning, it probably is not that difficult to do decent enough damage. Because things aren't falling off. Well, maybe the Shroud gauge, but at least, you know, you'll have the single target plus the soul gauge and you're not losing damage there. Any hoozles. Master Wurdigelt, he's been traveling around Eorzea spreading the teachings of monkhood. He comes back to Alagana from time to time, but train our people, but I couldn't rightly say when he'll visit next. Wait, aren't you Master Wurdigelt's master? Looking for him, you say. He's not here at the moment, but he comes fairly often to train us. Though he's a hard teacher, he inspires hard work. Thanks to his guidance, I was able to earn my cloth. Right, his whereabouts. During his last visit, he said he was going to Little Alamigo next, so you might, if you hurry, you might see him there. West? Yeah, no, that makes sense. To Little Alamigo, then. Yeah, it seems like it's only 2. Which is interesting, considering that Monk still has 4 in technicality. I guess, like I said, in technicality, I think it's more like that that you've got 2, because it's, hey, there's where to go. Ochaka and Desensa, what's up? God, I wish I knew what to say at times like this. Oh, he actually died after he left, huh? Ooh. Get ready for some heavy things, boys and girls. Kisara, I did not expect to see you here. this grave, you know who lies here? I can hazard a guess. It is the man who called himself Theobald, my closest brother, Adri. We had brought him to Alagana for healing, but he fled in spite of his wounds. He looked like a hunted man, so do witnesses say. I do not believe that. Adri was not one to flee. He had used the corpse brigade. He knew they would come for him. Rather than wait, he went for them, and now he's gone. I wanted him to live, stand at my side again. I should have done more. You tried your best to have him see the light, like you did for us. You mustn't be so hard on yourself. Much has happened with you too, sister. That much is plain. Come, let me hear your tale. Lurik. A hunter who found his path. Let me tell you the tale. The end. So Lurik chose to sever his ties with his kin. A resolve to which I can relate. I too chose my own path, spurred in blood in favor of faith. Your part in this tale impresses me also, to do battle with the world flooded by light. Yet again, I am reminded of your greatness. But my apologies. You have traveled far. Is there something you require? Oh, that's right. Frig! I had something to tell you. A soldier of resistance seeks me? What could his purpose be? You don't suppose they're coming after those of Theodoric's line? It seems to me the resistance would be above such acts, yet I can offer no other alternate explanation. Captain, it's been a while, sir. It's been a while indeed, but I'm no one's captain. I have long left the resistance. Forgive me, sir, but such old habits. It's hard to regard you as anything save my esteemed captain. Can you take off the face mask so I can punch you in the face the moment you betray me? Anyway, but if that is not your preference, Master Widdergelt, may I ask you to accompany me to Ralger's Reach? There is a matter which we want to discuss with you. Is that so? Well, Ralger's Reach is relatively stable. Very well then, lead the way. Disenza, Ochaka, please wait here. I will return anon. I would advise against this. Okay. If you're going to take me in place, then that's alright. Kizara, may I ask you to join me? You are well guarded regarding the resistance. Your presence would give me heart. Without further ado, then let us be away. Again, can I ask you to take off your mask? Hold the fort, Disenza. Never do anything fun, Disenza. Please take care of Master Widdergelt. To Ralger's Reach. Man, this one's having us teleport all over the place. The Gladiators Guild at worst had just right outside freaking Ul'dah. The Black Mages one didn't even leave Ul'dah. This one has us bouncing around like crazy. But to be fair, Stormblood was the Monk's expansion, and this is only one expansion later. Paladin's expansion is his next expansion. Black Mage never had an expansion. Yet. Place your bets. What's the next expansion's role for Derplander going to be? After Endwalker. There's Riddle of Wind. I was instructed to wait here. What could it be they wish to discuss? What up? What we got here? Sorry for keeping you. Lise! I really didn't expect you to show up in my job quest. Hi! I'm Lise Hext of the Alamigan Resistance. Thank you for coming all this way. I've been watching a bunch of WoW refugees playing Final Fantasy for the first time just for funsies, and one of the more lore conscious among them also was blindsided over Yida becoming Lise, and it made me relive that for a moment. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, there was no lead-in. It was just like, I'm not Ida, I'm Lise. It's just like, who are you then? You know? It was probably the weakest part of the lead into Stormblood. And I thought of 2 ways that it could have been fixed. And granted, one of those ways required the writing to have been there from A Realm Reborn, where they were already struggling to get shit done. But my idea would have been to have Lise show up a couple times on her own, and then Ida having been mortally wounded, but we weren't aware of it. Like, she was wounded very badly, and then she just shows up again. None the worse for wear, like a couple missions later, or maybe, you know, a patch later. And then we would see that. Then the fact that, you know, I'm not Ida, I'm Lise, Ida died, had a little bit more weight, right? But again, that's that one I'm not going to put on the developers, because that would require that far ahead look of writing to be happening when they're already trying to upkeep 1.0 and make 2.0. They were busy enough as it is. My other solution to that fix is to actually have a lot of weight. For having Resistance members in the lead up to Stormblood come up to Ida more and more often, asking for her help because she's Alamigan, just like Lisa's, duh, they're sisters. And then at the and as Ida is forced to refuse to help, either because Papalimo guides her to do so or because other things become a little bit more important, their shoot back to her to try and spite her a bit is that your sister would have gone along with us and helped us out, which would burn her deep inside emotionally, because she knows she would. She knows she would have gone were it not for the fact she has to act like Ida. So they think they're burning her because Lisa's been missing, etc., and they can't find her. So they're trying to get at Ida, and then Ida says no, and so the burn is almost double because they're attacking Ida, which is unfair, to try and get at Lise, and they're indirectly harming Lise because it is Lise who they're talking to, saying that Lise would have helped us out. And then maybe Ida, you know, Lise, or other way around, Lise, explains about herself, her sister, and then when the reveal comes, you're like, oh shit, you've been through some crap with all these people telling you that you would have done it. And it's like, yeah, I really wanted to go, and now with Papalimo gone, I don't know what to do. You know, would have been awesome, but obviously I am not a writer, and probably I would not have thought that hard about it if I wasn't already seeing the issue that was there. So I'm not going to give them too much flack on that. That was honestly the weakest part of the lead into Stormblood, because between oh, I forgot his name right now, Mr. Slope. But between his thing, Shinryu and Omega and Papalimo's sacrifice, all of that stuff led in really, really well. Anyway, let's get on with this. Kisara, don't tell me you know Master Widowgelt. I mean, technically you and I had a sparring match at the top of the hand here. So, I mean, Ilbert, thank you. So in technicality, I had to train under someone, and you definitely didn't frickin' train me, so... Say hello to my teacher. Hey! I love the little dainty hi she does. It's so cute whenever... I didn't know you were going to be here. Hi there. Kisara is a dear comrade. I owe her much and more. Well, that makes it easier, then. To get to the right to the heart of the matter, Master Riddle, we wish to invite you to rejoin the Resistance. Under the Mad King and the Garleans, the people of Alamigo lived in crippling fear of mutual distrust. In rebuilding the nation, we want to build a place where folk can believe and support in one another. A place where everyone is regarded as a friend. Even those who are akin to the Mad King. To be fair, I haven't shared this with anybody else. We should have reached out to you earlier, I know. But we feared that doing so would incite those that plotted to return to the old rule. It's quite alright, Commander. I know your intent is good and true. I don't know, I don't trust this girl. She pretended to be someone else for like 4 years. Our time. How much can we really trust her? No, I'm kidding. Of course we can trust her. However, I cannot rejoin the Resistance. I would serve my nation as humble monk. This I have sworn to myself. The man named Theodred, it never existed. There was only ever Widdergelt. And he wishes to restore that which was once lost. The teaching of the Fist of Ralger. See? The Fist of Ralger. I told you I went to a school of fisting! I need to get something to drink. My nose is getting super itchy. I'll do it after this. I see. Then you must do what your heart tells you. Let's try this again. I put this request to Riddlegelt of the Fist of Ralger. I want you to train the soldiers of the Resistance. Though we've won our freedom, we must be prepared to fight to keep it, and I believe that your techniques would serve us well. I've never trained properly myself, and for what it's worth, I'm very keen to learn. You've never trained properly yourself, yet you matched us up there? Granted, this was with Derplander, but I'm going to... No, it actually even happened in story. We did do a training session up there, and the assumption is that it was the same as what happened with Derplander, right? And she did that training by herself? Fuck, Widdergill, get her on this. She could be just like... God level for the source, at least. Like a tier below me in freaking just power punches. Holy shit. And I should be honored to teach. Great, we're in your debt. If I might make a request of my own, may I visit the Temple of the Fist? I would pay my respects. I've been there. They're cheating. They've been cheating lately and using weapons. Like swords and shields and bullshit like that. Not really worth going. Of course, you hardly need my permission for that. Come on, Kisara, let's all go together. So long as you guys do all the traps, and I just stand back and watch you fail and laugh. Also, I have a question about that. Who's gonna be the tank? Oh, you gotta tell... You're bullshitting me. They turned off all the traps? How are they gonna become true monks if they don't train on their way climbing the mountain? Ah! I'm so disappointed. Can we summon the fake Ravana and have him parry a bitch? Being here brings back memories. I remember the high priests, my brother and sister monks, all of them gone now, in fire and smoke. But you survived. Like the temple's stout stones, and thanks to your efforts, the faith has begun to rise from the ashes. Oh my god! They're already hinting at the Phoenix move that we get in Endwalker. Rise from the ashes. Ah! I mean, like, maybe that was not intended and they came up with the Phoenix move a little bit later, but I have a a feeling that it was a hint. It had to be like at least partially a hint. That's amazing. Not my efforts alone. All I have achieved, I owe to many others. Professor Eric, the Senza, Ochakaka. Sorry. Let me pronounce her name right. Ochaka. Yeah, Ochaka. Okay. So I actually had it right the first time. It's just the extra H in there throws it a little weird. Ochaka. And not least of all, Kisara. Yeah, I beat the sense into you back in level 50, if I remember correctly. If you want, I could do it again for old time's sake. Anyway. I couldn't have come this far on my own either. Like you, I had dear comrades to prop me up and push me forward. And I'll never stop forging on. For al amigo. Let's see how good this gets. Did we get that one? I know I have the first one. Ish. Oh, right, no, the first one... The first one's actually... If not, is the Red Ranger emote, then it's a variation thereof. I'll have to check it out after we finish this. Our paths may differ, but our goals are one and the same. There is no more need for words. Please someone throw a punch. Kisara! Kisara, do not look surprised. Do not look surprised. You did this with Lise last expansion. To prep her for the fight that we were getting into in Alamigo. Come on, man. Come on, woman. Get yourself in gear. Kisara, the professor worries for me. Please return to him. Let him know all is well. Good. That's fine. They did that in when me and Lise did it too. They faded to white as well, so I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I only mind that they didn't go through the training traps. They need to improve themselves. Such is the way of the monk. Oh right, I said I was gonna get a drink. This? All this white stuff here. Where'd that come from? Oh well. So. Right, I need to go over to Goldsmith Guild. Eric. Ah, you are returned. Were you able to find Riddle? Yee. I left him punching some other broad. I see. I'm pleased to hear that his effort to revive the Fist of Ralga proceeds apace. Of course, it will still take considerable time for the faith to take root across the land, but Riddle is young and determined. The day will come when he realizes his dream. But to think it was none other than Curtis Heck's daughter that sought him out. A woman who embraces her lineage and a man who rejects his. Viewed thus, their paths could not be more different, but as they have discovered, their goals are one and the same. Alamigo is stronger for their cooperation. In any case, it appears my concerns are unfounded. Thanks for laying my fears to rest. For a while, though, I believe I will observe these two souls in future endeavors. After all, I'm nothing not observant. But you aren't observant because you keep calling me idiot, yet I am probably way smarter than you. At the very least. Anyway. Since we'll never go over let's go over the ones that we're not going to do their story right now because we've already done them elsewheres. So that's Dark Knight, Scholar, and Ninja. Those ones we're not going to do. And check the changes. Okay. So let's start with my usual main, Dark Knight. Basically, nothing has changed. If I'm being honest, nothing's changed. If I'm being absolutely honest. The only thing that's majorly different is Oblation, which is another closer to Heart of Stone than the Blackest Night, but it's at least a second one you can do and it doesn't cost MP. The Salted Earth now being a centered around you target, floor target, instead of targeting the floor. And the added Salt and Darkness, which in theory you could only hit once. But I was having a discussion with Gigas last night, and there's a possibly you could probably get a second one right at the end, depending on server ticks. But we'll have to see how that goes. And then Shadowbringer is not an overwrite actually for Flood of Shadow. It's its own separate thing. 2 charges that hit really hard. And then and then Frey gets to be able to use Shadowbringer and gets a bonus too. So honestly, nothing much has changed about Dark Knight, but Dark Knight honestly was in a really good position to start. So I know why you macroed your ninjutsus, but it still makes me cringe so hardcore. You have no idea. All right. Next up. So we looked at Dark Knight. Let's look at Scholar. So Scholar, by comparison, is not that much change either. Both Dark Knight and Scholar didn't change that much. The major changes on Scholar, we have Protraction, which is basically a targeted Thrill of Battle. For those that don't know what Thrill of Battle is, it basically increases your max HP and then heals for that difference that you get. You made the... Holy shit, it just reminded me. We got a percentile healage back. Lustrate used to be percentile healing, and then it got changed to the to be a flat potency. But Protraction is always going to be percentile. But granted, once it disappears, so it doesn't matter for how much you healed it for. Right? So Protraction is one that you'd probably throw on the tanks. Because 10% of that is much better suited than 10% of a DPS or another healer. Probably what balances it and why they took it off of Lustrate way back when, but are reintroducing it here is because it's 10% heal, but it also increases the 10%, and then if it ever overshoots, it loses the 10% anyway, so it doesn't matter. Versus Lustrate that you would gain it the whole way through. And it was like 25% anyway. I'm not, by the way, I'm not really paying attention specifically to, because of the stat crunch and the changes to specifically more the physical than the magical, but potencies. I'm not paying, and beyond the fact they can change these potencies whenever they damn well please. I'm not paying attention to potencies or costs. The only thing I might be paying attention to as far as these numbers are concerned are range and radiuses and recasts, because those will probably be a little bit more solid. Let's see, expedient is that sprint button. On the plus side, on the plus side, it doesn't only increase your movement speed, it also reduces damage by 10%, so it can be used in a defensive manner too. So at the very least, so my issue still stands only if having everybody increase their movement speed in one shot is necessary, then scholars will become necessary. That's still a thing. But the opposite will not happen, where it's just like, well, we don't need a scholar because they got added this one thing that doesn't actually do anything for defense or healing. It at least does something for defense, so it's still worth it. What was the other thing? All right, Fey Blessing no longer costs Fairy Gauge, so the only thing that does Fairy Gauge now is Tether. Which is actually really good. That gives Scholar at least one AoE heal that, number one, does not eat into their mana pool, and then number two is, you know, doesn't have a shield attached to it if you need just straight healing. It's pretty powerful. It's 320 potency. Yeah, 200 potency for Sucker. I guess 400 if you emergency tactics that stuff. So, but emergency tactics, I usually, whenever I healed, emergency tactics was more, I would use it more on Adlo to really bring the tank back up. You know, because it's an emergency. Emergency tactics. Okay. So everything else is basically the same. Art of War is a boosted, as I mentioned in our video, the Art of War 2 is, at the very least, I like the animation better, even if it's just, oh look, you get a little bit more potency and that's it. It's fine. I don't care. It is really, really good as far as animation is concerned. It feels like it hits really hard. Perfect. That's all I wanted. And then we get a Broil 4. So basically, Scholar and Dark Knight don't change all that much. On the other hand, Mr. Ninja, and not talking about the one here on Twitch, we lose, not Dragon Fang, what's the thing called? Shadow Fang. So there's no dots outside of Doton anymore. Yeah, no, I saw that it makes you cringe too, dude. Just getting around to it here. It's, unfortunately, it's a necessity to some degree, right? You know what frustrated me? In order to get a better perspective, because I heard about the one developer of the original God of War shitting on Metroid Dread for its design, and I got a little pissed, but I was like, you want to know what? He hasn't played a Metroid game, or at least a Metroid-style game, right? No search action games. Maybe he's just not used to the conventions that I am. Maybe I'm the one who's blinded. I'm the idiot, right? Not an idiot, but at least I'm blinded by my own knowledge of the conventions. Fine. So I started looking at other people who reviewed the game, and some of them brought up some good points that I either thought about but discounted or I didn't think about. And one of them I did think about at one point, but then I kind of forgot about it because by the time it came around to it, it didn't matter anymore. I remember talking about the fact that the directional pad right was to expand the map. I was just like, okay, so the other three will be for actual Aeon powers. The D-pad does nothing except for expand the minimap. That's a waste of buttons. Like, even expanding the minimap is kind of a waste. When you saw, if you watch my streams of Metroid Dread, on a casual playthrough, you're not looking at the minimap. I don't care how you expand it, unless you can move around the map, that is useless. You're just gonna go into the main map, plus it keeps you safe anyway, because nothing can attack you while you're inside the main map. So expanding the minimap is absolutely useless. And those people who are more experienced don't need the minimap anyway. They've memorized the entire map as it is. So what does it freaking matter to them? So instead of having, so instead of having to do freaking finger gymnastics for all this stuff, how about, you know, I press up to get missiles, and it's not a hold button, but a toggle button. And then, oh, but you need to charge it before you can fire the shot. You freaking charge it the same way you charge a charged shot. And the same thing for the power bomb. Just charge a charged shot while in morph ball mode. Because the Aeon powers are all mapped elsewhere. All of them. I'm so lost as to why that is. That sounds so stupid. I have no idea. So, if I had one gripe about Metroid Dread, it's the button mapping. And granted, we can remap. As Shows pointed out and mentioned there, you can go into the actual Switch remap thing and get it all done. And actually, that's even allowed during speedruns. You're allowed to remap through the Switch. So if I wanted to do speedruns, I could do that. But my issue is that, think about how I just quickly solved part of the accessibility issue. I'm ignoring right now specifically the Omega Cannon stuff, because the Omega Cannon stuff I don't want to mess with. I feel like that was only there to inject tension into a situation, to get that dread that they wanted to get, some horror. But all it does is inject tension. And there is a difference between horror, fear, tension. There is a major difference in the way that they feel. Tension is not the same as horror or dread. The first time I fought one of the Emmy, I definitely felt maybe afraid for my life to some degree, right? The second time, maybe. By the third and fourth time, I was not afraid. I was trying to find the straightaways that would allow me to just line up my shots. It wasn't scary. It was maybe not annoying, because it wasn't bad, but it was kind of like, ugh, again with this stuff, you know? Can I just, whatever? That's why I was so excited when the last Emmy, Samus just literally ripped out the power from it using the Metroid ability she's got. I was just like, shit, that's amazing. But I'm so disappointed, because I feel like there needs to be a Metroidvania, a search action that is super accessible. Because Metroid doesn't seem to be a good one, in all honesty, even though I believe that Show in particular, and I'm sure that there are plenty of other disabled people that would love nothing more than to play something like that. But there's nothing we can do there. I'll have to look up some others. But remember, there's two modes of the Omega Cannon. There's the auto fire one to break off its faceplate, and then the other one to charge up and fire. So you'd have to figure out what you're going to do, because it sounds like you're still going to need to press two sets of buttons before hitting the fire button. Either way, we'll figure it out later. I'm going to make it my mission to take a look at a bunch of Metroidvanias to see about accessibility in there. Just because I feel like you in particular, and, you know, again, disabled people in general, would love to play Metroidvanias because they're honestly very fun. I enjoyed the hell out of them. I enjoyed the hell out of Metroid Dread despite that one drawback that I pointed out, you know? And a couple other actual drawbacks that other people have brought up. But honestly, it's still the best Metroid, 2D Metroid. Yeah, I'll say since Super Metroid. I still hold Super Metroid and Zero Mission a little bit higher than it, but it's still really good. I'll put it above Fusion at least. Yeah. We already took a look at Dark Knight. Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight definitely does not. Well, the only issue with Hollow Knight, there's not that much holding. The only thing is the pogoing. The pogoing that is not necessarily required, actually. You can bypass that with certain upgrades later on. We'll have to return to Hollow Knight so we can take a look at that. But I want to check out the 2 Ori games. Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Because one of them, the second one, actually hired the creator of AM2R to do its design, and I really want to play that now. I really want to play it. Because that guy, Milton Guasti, excellent designer. I loved what he did with AM2R. And honestly, if one could find it, that one actually might be also super accessible as well, because you could do a lot of customization of the mapping in those controls. Though there is still a little bit of like button gymnastics to get some stuff done for sure. Another one that I want to take a look at is Guacamelee. I want to take a look at all the Castlevanias. I know the Castlevania, that the only thing that bothers me, because I don't want to support this shit, but I know that Castlevania, they just released, or Konami released a collection of all the Castlevania stuff that came out on Game Boy Advanced, which might be interesting to play. But I don't like giving money to a company I don't believe in. Konami are assholes, and this is beyond what they did to Silent Hill, or specifically Silent Hills, Kojima, and all that jazz. Other stories came out of Konami's development circles that made me so pissed beyond words that I don't want to support them, despite the games that they've created in the past, back when hopefully they were a little bit better. It's the whole reason why I don't support Blizzard for anything either. They did something, and it's not even the more recent things, it was something from before that I completely disagreed with, so I uninstalled everything Blizzard. Because I don't want to support a company that did what they did. And then even more so now with the stuff that came up more recently. So, honestly, I was disappointed in what I did end up playing from Blizzard. Why? Not because the game sucked. I will preface with that. But I downloaded Battle.net specifically to play Overwatch. Why? Because Blizzard, if they do nothing else that's awesome, they make some amazing cutscenes. So all the Overwatch shit that they made looked great. I was sold. Let's go. None of that story's in Overwatch, the game. So I had some fun with it. When I stopped having fun, I stopped. Nothing is in there that's going to draw me. Everything that I wanted to know about Overwatch is not in the game. I don't care gameplay first. That's fine. Gameplay's important. Do that. But Final Fantasy teaches you that you can have both story and gameplay in the same medium. I learned so much more about either people's situations, human psychology, so many things. Hell, I've learned about business because of Final Fantasy XIV thanks to that asshole Lolorito. I learned so much from playing games that have at least a modicum, if not a lot, of story behind them. And the reason why I learned it better from a video game than I do, and give me a moment because I need to, at the very least, make sure that I don't get kicked out here. Than from like a book or TV show is because player agency. I tweeted about this not too long ago, replying specifically to a tweet from Show. Player agency is key. You learn more because you're doing it than watching somebody else do it. Aesop's Fables is nice, but until you've learned the lesson yourself, what good does it do you? Right? It's the same point I was making a little bit earlier in the stream. The whole... Yeah, it was during the Black Mage quest. Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Unfortunately, you can say that all you friggin' want until the people who need to learn it, they will not learn it, and they will friggin' repeat the same mistakes that we've seen over and over and over again. I refuse to engage with closed-minded people because I need some actual stimulation in my conversation. I need someone who can actually think critically, stop and think, oh shit, maybe I'm the asshole, or maybe not even asshole. Let's be fair. Let's be absolutely fair. Let's assume that whatever we're even talking about, because I'm speaking in such general terms anyway, whatever we're talking about is, it's like, oh shit, maybe I'm not wholly correct, or maybe he's got a better idea, or she's, whoever we're talking about, right? I don't mind being wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand why nobody wants to be wrong, because who likes being wrong? But I don't mind being wrong if I learn something from it. The only time I'm infuriated, and not infuriated, the only time I get angry, and I pointed it out, I think, I forget what stream we were doing, what we were doing at the time. I think it was Final Fantasy 14, but it was the Shadowbringers rethink, the replay. The whole, oh, you know, I'm doing this for the greater good too. Really? Well, what's your whole, you know, purpose for this? Whatever. Oh, you wouldn't understand. Of course I won't fucking understand if you don't tell me. How can I even sympathize with you if I don't understand? It's the worst thing ever. Like, if you tell me everything to hopefully make me understand, and I still don't understand, then it's on me, or this is an impasse we can't cross because obviously we disagree. Fine. But don't sit there and tell me it's like, oh, you wouldn't understand. I'm open-minded enough to at least freaking listen and assume I'm wrong from the start just to give your point of view a little bit higher of a thing. I'm sorry, I went on an ADD tangent. Luckily in Twitch this thing's tagged ADD because holy shit. Okay, so the ninja changes are actually a lot bigger. So specifically, Shadowfang gone. We've decided, we've already established that. The only positionals are on Aeolian Edge and Armor Crush, which is nice. Hurricane is separate. It automatically grants Huton or extends Huton, though its potency of 200 is not as good as getting that flank combo Armor Crush, so it's not really useful for extending, only for establishing. Trick is still there. Actually, did Trick get nerfed? Slightly? Give me a second. I mean, nerfed. I'm looking at potencies again. I'm sorry. That was my fault, but still. I want to know. Where did I put my trick? There did I put my trick? Nope. It wasn't the potencies I was looking at, technically. I was looking at the percentage chance, or the percentage damage increase. It's 5%. It's fine. Mug. Oh, Mug. Oh, sorry. Assassinate doesn't lead into Dream Within a Dream anymore, according to this. So that's another change. So we've got, obviously, the same thing of Fuma, Katon, Raiton, Suiton, Hyoton, and Huton, Doton. The big change with Doton is that you have a second, basically the AoE combo now has a 1, 2, 3, but only when Doton's out. And it's only able to be used when it's comboed off of the second hit. Obviously, we have the Kasatsu Katon and Hyoton with Goka Mikyaku and Hyosho Ranryu. But then you have Forked Raiju and Fleet Eating Raiju, which you can do after casting Raiton on its own. And it's 2 separate gap closures. 2 of them that combo off each other. That's crazy. So basically, you could do a dance. You could back up Raiton, Forked Raiju to come back in. Oh, another point blank AoE. Back up again because you have 2 charges of freaking Shukuchi anyway. And then Fleeting Raiju back in. Oh my god, that's insane. And then Phantom Kamatachi, which you can hit when you're in Bunshin. $550. That'll be interesting to see how that works in particular. The only other thing I want to see real quick. Aha! We're actually going to get one trait actually changes something. When you do Misui to eat a Suiton, that since Trick is going to be on cooldown, right? It actually increases your Bahaba Kakra damage by 100. So that is coolio. But that's where we'll leave it for now. So since we did everything that's here, right? What shall we do next? We could do the warrior. Conjurer, Astro, Dragoon. Now they're all over the place. Now they're really all over the place. No, let's do Dragoon. Knowing how so far they've kind of gone back to your class quests almost, right? Although, no, the monk didn't go back to the class quests. The ninja did, if I recall. Dark Knight didn't have a class, so it didn't matter. So you did top with Frey, which was basically your class quest if you wanted to look at it that way. And the scholar, you did not talk to the Astro, the not Astro, Arcanist. But that might be for Summoner, to be fair. That might be for Summoner. But let's see. Because if it goes back to... Actually, it doesn't have to go back to the class quest, because even the early job quest for this... was still wrapped around Justinian. Like, that was the first thing going to Heaven's Word that I was, like, baffled about. I was like, wait, didn't I kill you at the end of the level 50 quest? Nope. I think we're coming to Justinian. Because we've got a picture of Needhog. Alberic is keen to hear of your adventures. Oh. So, the changes to Dragoon. So here we are. Changes to Dragoon. First and foremost, Blood of the Dragon is not a ability, it is now a trait. You get Nestron just by doing your skull twice, since you're always in Blood of the Dragon anyway, to get Life of the Dragon. You get 2 charges of Spine Shatter Dive, which is nice for gap closing. And to Gigas's sigh of relief from when I was poking holes into his argument last night, because last night he said, oh, they were going to be replacing current moves. I'm like, are you sure? Because it's been increasing almost every expansion. What we do, we're fine. Full thrust becomes Heaven's Thrust, and Chaos Thrust becomes Chaotic Spring, that do the same thing, just with increased damages. And otherwise, the rotation remains the same, getting to Ride and Thrust. The only ones that have positionals now, though, are the last hits. No, only Chaotic Spring. So only Chaotic Spring, and then obviously Wheeling Thrust and Fang and Claw to get Ride and Thrust. And then we get a third hit here of Draconian Fury. Is that third or fourth? Oh, that's a fourth for the AoE, but it's not part of the combo because you need Draconian Fire, which you get from Corinthian Torment. And you can still get that because that's an off GCD, right? But you have to basically, you have to hit Wheeling Thrust, Fang, and Claw back to back. Because you get Ride and Thrust. And you can get the effect of that. So if you have to switch it over to use Draconian Fury instead, you could. Then you get this new First Mind's Focus, which uses these scales. So it looks like another AoE. Dragon side is the same. Nothing much has changed otherwise. So the major change is similar to Black Mage in particular. Alright. That being said, let's move on with the story, shall we? Kisara, it's been too long since we last spoke. Your visits are far more frequent than those of another former student of mine. However, it seems he still prefers to keep his own company. The same could be said of Heostanine, who made quite the name for herself as a hunter in Dravania, according to Orn Kai. Ah, what fortunate timing. Speak of the dragon, and he shall appear. Greetings! Would I be correct in guessing that you have returned fresh from one of your adventures? Let's tell a story. And we wind up with, I traveled to a world that was beyond our own. To think such a place could truly exist. And that you fought such terrifying foes. To fall so far from grace, 'tis a tragic tale if I ever heard one. One similar to that of Nidhogg. Aye, though nothing will ever compare to his malice, even death could not quell his thirst for vengeance. At least Andrea was not so nearly consumed by hate. Not that I doubt that Renda Ray's soul is at peace. I doubt not Renda Ray's soul is at peace. Peace. I wonder if Nidhogg ever found it. Considering that we literally ripped his eyes out from his host's body, I doubt it. I fear his soul yet lingers. Actually, what were his eyes used for? I know that, I remember that the Ashians got their hands on it, but I forget what they were actually used for. Alright. I fear his soul yet lingers, doomed to wander endlessly. That is too cruel of a fate, even for him. I share your sentiments, for as the Azure Dragoon, I once gazed into his heart, as he gazed into mine. Such rage, such sorrow. I will not accept this. That none should mark his passing is more than I can bear. What say you, Kisara? Perhaps we could honor who he once was, if not what he became. So, that's interesting. Because there are a lot of people out there, and yeah, because to my point before, I learned so much from games and media in general, but games mostly just because I'm an active participant rather than a passive observer for the most part. And as much as I said that I hate dealing with closed-minded people and people are already going to make assumptions on who I'm talking about, this one hits the other way. Because there are a lot of people out there that want to erase the best parts of history because they had a tinge of the worst parts. And don't get me wrong, we should never forget. We should never forget the bad parts of history and what, you know, either got us to where we are or what one had to fight through. I say we, but it more than likely wouldn't have been me even at the time. But what one had to fight through in order to get to where we are. But that does not mean that we need to erase certain people from history, that we erase their representations. That's fine. That's all they are. They're not. It's not worth worrying about a representation. But if you erase a less than stellar person from history, that's no different than erasing people that were unwanted in their time for the good things they did just because they were not the kind of people that you would expect them to be at the time. Tulsa stuff. It's no different to me. I don't mind the tearing down of representations. That's all they are. Doesn't matter. You put them somewhere else where they're not as public. If you really don't want to destroy them, or destroy them. What do I care? They're just representations of a person. People are not beholden to be higher than anyone else because we're all the same. We're all weak in one way, shape, or form. We all grow, and together we are stronger. So, for a statue of any kind to feel like it is more important than the people who are feeling offended by it in one way, shape, or form makes no difference. But if a person has something better, like, let's have one of the ones that I'm gonna just point out there is I feel like a lot of people, especially nowadays, are shitting on a lot of the founding fathers of America in particular. And their reasonings are rightly so. The majority, if not all of them, owned slaves. And that needs to be brought to the forefront. You can't ignore that these people owned people. But that does not discount what they've done otherwise. To quote epic rap battles of history, specifically Thomas Jefferson versus Frederick Douglass, I ain't denying your fame. I'm just saying they need to put an asterisk next to your name. And maybe more so, not just an asterisk, but put it in the same line. But you keep his fame because he still did great things. So you can honor. So in the case, bring it back to Final Fantasy XIV and what I'm learning here. Perhaps we could honor who he once was, if not what he became. That's not saying that we shouldn't honor what he became. It's just saying that if it's more difficult to do so, then honor for what he used to be. Then we are in agreement. Though I must admit that as part of Freysfelger's brood, I have little knowledge of Nidhogg. A deeper insight is needed if I'm properly to pay my respects. Faunium is of his brood. Let me see. Faunium is of his brood. If anyone would know, it's her. Let's make haste for the zenith. Yep, here's another war I'm bouncing around. But this is Heaven's Ward bouncing around, not Stormblood bouncing around, so... Whoo! But the Dragoon was the expansion job! So there you go! All the ones that bounce around the most, so far, are the expansion jobs. So, to the zenith. I think after this one we'll stop, and then tomorrow we'll continue on. And then we'll continue on with the reliving the expansion shenaniganery next week. Are we going up here? We are. Hi, Ornkai. Faunium is come. So we got a big girl. Oh, man. Welcome, noble dragon. Ornkai has explained all. Dragoon. Said Dragoon, didn't it? Pray tell, what was Nidhogg to you? A relentless adversary, a wellspring of my strength. Read in a certain light, they're the same. I wonder. You know what? A wellspring of my strength. And yet you were enemies, each sworn to slay the other. Two souls entwined by fate. Cough, cough, Freysfelger and Shiva. Though you have faced Nidhogg's wrath and sensed his pain, you cannot know him as we dragons did. We would fain hear his tale. Nidhogg was without equal, even among our kind. I don't know, I think Bahamut could probably kick his ass. Destined was he to guard this world from catastrophe that befell the dragon star in place of his sire. Really? I want to take that for later. That's interesting. And also, the dragon star. Now that we know, because when Midgard Sormer mentioned that he came here to this star from elsewhere and promised Heidelin to yada yada yada, we were thinking he came from another planet. But now we know he probably came from a different shard. Which shard was the one that fell? It wasn't the first, and clearly wasn't the one that was overtaken by the void. I wonder if there was any point where they mention. You know what? I need to get the Encyclopedia Eorzea books. I should. It would be very, very, very interesting to see. See, destined to guard, he valued strength above all else, and considered the affairs of mortals beneath his notice. Only the 7 great worms were worthy of his attention, and among them, none but Ratatoskr truly understood him. Her song was beautiful indeed, and she graced both dragon and man with her wisdom. She was invited by Thordan, king of men, to speak on our behalf. Ratatoskr expressed our desire to live in harmony. However, it was known that Nidhogg did not share these views. When the king asked her how her brother saw mankind, she did not hide the truth. He believed that such frail creatures were incapable of protecting this star. Yet... Anyway. That the task must be entrusted to the 7 great worms alone. And that is why Thordan slew her? Actually, that is a good question. Why did Thordan slay her? Ratatoskr had no intention of sowing discord, but the king could not countenance that his kind would be treated with such contempt, that we dragons would seek to claim this star as our own. He turned on Ratatoskr, taking not only her eyes, but her life. When Nidhogg discovered that King Thordan had murdered his beloved, his fury was beyond reckoning. For all his strength, he could not master his own rage. It utterly consumed him. Dragons, men, we're all the same, slaves to our emotion, subservient to our hearts. Oh my god, wise! Yet there are those who would seek another path, as I once did. I turned my back on my father in his quest for vengeance. Valiant Dragoon, by your strength was the Dragon Song War ended, and by your compassion, a new alliance forged. Isara and I are living proof that we can live side by side. We shall speak the message of peace to man and dragon alike, and when we are gone, our descendants will do the same. Tell them of Nidhogg, his strength, his weakness, his love, his hate. Tell them the truth. Again, tell them when we teach history, we teach all of it. We teach what's great about the past, the best parts of it, the parts that have built up what we are today, and the parts that were the shittiest piece of... I don't know what else to say about it. That also happened back then that we've grown apart from, because it's not good. Whether by knowledge, by experience, by whatever the hell, you know? It's the stuff from back then, totally shitty. There is no culture on this planet that doesn't have to take something I remember hearing Picora say, Kurorekshi, a dark history, a dark past. Because the past, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, the past always sucks. Today sucks, the past sucked worse. We just keep improving ourselves. So don't diminish the good that was back then. Just highlight more of the shitty stuff too. This is what I always fight against a bunch of people on both sides of the equation, because they want to either highlight the shitty shit that these assholes were, but also the other side wants to highlight the great stuff, and neither wants to do the opposite. What is so wrong with teaching both? So long as it's the truth. So long as there are no lies, then it doesn't matter that Thomas Jefferson, as a good example, great man, wrote the Declaration of Independence, helped, our nation become solid as he could make it, but owned a shit ton of slaves, had a slave baby mama, and didn't even free her on his deathbed. Fucking asshole. He's both, because he's human. No one who's lived on God's green earth is perfect. Everyone fucked something up. Whether it was something that only involves themselves and close relatives and not the world at large, or we're on the internet so I can go this far, or we have Hitler. Horn Kai, if you wish to commemorate Nidhogg's commemorate Nidhogg's passing, yes? As my father once enjoyed the fragrance of mist lilies, perhaps they would make a suitable offering. What a splendid idea! Thank you, found him. I often have seen such flowers brewing in Old Tan. Follow me. I probably have reaped a bunch of them when I was gathering in Heavensward, because I was actually really, really serious about the crafting and gathering back then. I really need to get back on being serious on that. I have made mention that I want to do the Trinity of getting a DPS healer and a tank up. Then maybe if I need to get a different one that I might feel more comfortable with. But then right after I'm done, do crafting and gathering, just so that I can make my own stuff. You got to make your own things. I'm sorry that I'm being so philosophical today. And a little political. But I'm not, because I learned things that I can apply to real life from both video games and many, many other things. What's up, old Kai? Horn Kai? I distinctly recall seeing mist lilies in this very spot. What could have happened to them? It's funny, Nidhogg's been dead for patches and patches, yet his home still looks like it's seething with rage. So there were mist lilies here after all? Then it would appear my memory served me correctly. Pity the same could not be said of my eyes. 'Tis of no matter. There's one thing that concerns me, however. In your funerary rites, the offering of flowers and such occurs at a grave or place of significance, I believe. But where should we choose for Nidhogg? Ooh. Girbania? Oh! That's friggin' right! Shinryu was built from his friggin' eyes. I forgot about that. I knew that the Ashians took his eyes for something, but I couldn't remember what. It was Shinryu. Okay. Though I must say, Kisara, you seem rather adept at putting down dragons and primals that resemble dragons. Makes me glad that we're not enemies. To matters at hand, I shall go on ahead and meet you at Girbania. We are going to where in Girbania? To Alamigo, specifically. Oh, it is true. It is true. Because we defeated him, Shinryu, Zeno Shinryu. Over the, yeah, here we go. What a relief to have found you at last. I became rather lost, you see. Perhaps we had best hurry to the Royal Menagerie before I lose my way again. Oh, I love this game. Nidhogg, we are come to honor your memory. Though now we are here, I'm at a loss for words. Kisara, is there anything you wish to say? Punk bitch, I beat you twice! No, I beat you 3 times. Nah, I take it back. Your legacy will live on in the songs of your people. From a distant star, a father bore 7 eggs. Great worms rose forth, powerful and wise. On blackened wings, one soared high with a roar that set the world a tremble. Guarding their home in their father's stead, he was fearsome yet just. Man, wicked and vain, betrayed the worm and his kin, slaying his beloved and plucking out his eyes. Thenceforth, he lived only for vengeance, his wrath impressible. Yet 1,000 years hence, 2 champions of mankind were granted with great strength by the stolen eyes. Destined were they to face the worm, who had risen once more to wage war on his sworn enemy. At the end of their struggle, the wayward son fell silent. These guardians and their comrades continue to watch over the star, their heroic deeds recounted by minstrels and storytellers far and wide. Even the ancient foe from which the father dragons once fled could not withstand their might. The Ashians. That song ended up being more about me and Nistidian, but you know what? Whatever. Kisara, I'm not blind to the sins that Nidhogg committed. I mourn the loss of what he once was, what he may have become had he been dealt a kinder fate. Although this was but a small gesture, I'm sure that our thoughts have reached him. I have much to ponder on the return journey, and I expect Albric will wish to hear what we have learned from Fondim. Perhaps you could visit him in Quarthus? To Quarthus, and then after that, as you see, I am probably going to pass out. I need to catch up on some zzz. Whew. Were you able to pay your respects? I see. This is the first time I'd heard such a detailed account of King Thornton's asks. A betrayal in the moment, but a betrayal nonetheless. Pity he is far beyond the reach of justice. Though it may be hard to come to terms with the crimes of our forebears, we must accept the past for what it is. Of course, I shall be sharing this information with the rest of the Temple Knights. No doubt they will be keen to speak with other members of Nidhogg's brood to verify this version of events. In the meantime, there is still much to be done in building relations between man and dragon. We will aim to follow the example set by you and Orn Kai, and work together for the good of all. May the Fury guide you both. Dragoon Age! Noise. Alright. We are done for the night. Let's at least go to this screen. But the only thing I want to do real quick is settle on where we're going next. So if we take a look at the New Game Plus, we're up here in Corythus. White Mage is in Gridania, which isn't that far. Oh, an Astrologian is actually up in actually Ishgard. And Machidus is there too. So yeah, let's head up to Ishgard. That's what we'll do. Since we're not doing more tonight, I can use the return to head to Ishgard, and then we'll do more tomorrow. I overthink so much, but I learn so much, and I will continue to keep learning, because only fools do not learn from either history or even themselves. I don't know. Either way, I hope you guys have had fun. I will see you guys tomorrow. We will continue this up because I really want to finish this up because this is going to be my main, obviously, for the most part. Certain exceptions notwithstanding. And I want to make sure that this is all set to go for Heaven's Word. Heaven's Word. No, sorry. For Endwalker, including having all the New Game Plus stuff ready to roll. Any hoozles. Thank you guys. You've all been 10 out of 10 with me, and I will see you guys come tomorrow for that. Have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, whatever the heck you are, where you are. And don't forget to be awesome.